Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle a phrase you've probably heard a million times, unity in diversity. But what does that really mean? We're going to try and piece together this huge, beautiful puzzle, the Great Indian Puzzle, to figure it all out. And to kick things off, let's start with this really beautiful thought from the poet Rabindranath Tagore. The bliss of the touch of the one in the play of the many. What a perfect way to frame our journey today, right? We're looking for that single touch of one in the incredible play of the many. All right, so this is the big question, isn't it? We throw this phrase around all the time, but what does it actually look like in the real world? How can one single country be so incredibly different from one end to the other and yet still feel like one place? That's what we're going to dig into. So, to figure this out, we're going on a bit of a treasure hunt. We're going to look for clues in some amazing places. In the food we eat, the clothes we wear, the festivals we celebrate, and of course, the stories that we've been telling for thousands of years. Let's get into it. First things first, we need to get our heads around the sheer scale of this puzzle. The diversity here isn't just some minor detail. It's pretty much the main event. Okay, just look at this number. 1.4 billion people. That is almost 18% of every single person on this planet, all living in one country. When you have that many people, well, incredible diversity isn't just likely, it's a sure thing. And believe me, you see it everywhere. Just picture this. You're on a train, crisscrossing the country. Every few hours, the world outside your window completely transforms. The food being served changes, the clothes people are wearing on the platform look different, and you'll hear languages and see writing that you just don't recognize. It's kind of beautifully bewildering. Okay, so where on earth do we even begin to look for unity in all of this? Well, how about on our plates? Let's see how food can actually show us both our differences and what connects us. So, at first glance, this map looks like it's all about our differences, right? It shows all the basic greens and lentils, dals, that are the foundation of meals in different parts of the country. You've got regions where rice is king. In others, it's all about wheat for our rotis and naans. And then you have places that rely on incredible millets like jawar and bajra, or even maize. This right here, this is the diversity, the many, that makes our food culture so rich. But, and this is where it gets really interesting, this is where the unity pops up. While the main ingredient might change, so many of our dishes all across the country are brought to life by the same basic set of spices and oils. It's the spices, turmeric, cumin, ginger. These are like the secret ingredients, the common threads of flavor that weave through thousands of totally unique regional dishes. That's the one hiding in the many. This idea of a single shared foundation that then explodes into amazing variety, we see that pattern over and over. And next up, let's see how it plays out in the very fabric of India. Literally. Let's talk about the sari. Check this out. On the left, that's a stone carving of a woman in a sari that's over 2,000 years old. And on the right, the incredible textiles we see today. The sari isn't just fashion, it's like a continuous thread running through our entire history. And here's the key idea, the real genius of it. At its core, a sari is just one single piece of unstitched cloth. That's the unity. But from that one simple idea, boom, you get this explosion of diversity. The gorgeous Banarasi silks, the rich kanjivarams, the delicate paithanis, hundreds of different weaves and designs. And the sheer genius of it is how adaptable it is. A sari is so much more than a garment. That same single piece of cloth can become a cradle for a sleeping baby or a pouch to help harvest grains from a field. It can be a makeshift fishing net, a shield from the sun, or a way to carry heavy loads. Just think about that. One simple item woven into daily life in a million different ways. It's the perfect metaphor for what we're talking about. Okay, so we've done food, we've done clothing. Let's move on to another huge part of life here. Festivals. Is it possible for one single celebration to have a bunch of different faces all across the country? This map is such a great way to see this in action. It's showing the Harvest Festival, which happens pretty much at the exact same time all over India, right around January 14th. But look, it has so many different names depending on where you are. So up in the north, people are celebrating Lohri or Magi. Head down south and it's Pongal. Over in the east, it's Mag Bihu. And in the west and central parts, it's Makar Sankranti or Uttarayan. The specific traditions and the food might be different, but the core reason, celebrating the harvest, is exactly the same. One reason, so many different celebrations. See the pattern? All right, for our last piece of the puzzle, let's look at something you can't touch, but is maybe the most powerful unifier of all, our stories. Let's start with the Panchatantra. These are ancient fables, right? For over 2,000 years, these simple stories with big life lessons have been told and retold in pretty much every single language spoken in India. This one single collection of stories has become many, woven into the cultural DNA of the whole subcontinent. But the real heavyweights, of course, are India's two great epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. The tales of their heroes, their choices, the moral questions they face. These stories are known absolutely everywhere. They create this shared cultural and moral world that we all inhabit. And what's amazing is that these stories aren't just stuck in old books. This here is a shrine in the Nilgiri Hills, and it's kept by the Irula tribal community to remember the Pandavas from the Mahabharata. This shows you just how deep these stories run. They're part of the land itself, part of local traditions, connecting completely different communities through a mythology that everyone shares. So, where does that leave us? Have we solved the puzzle? I think we found some really powerful clues. The unity here isn't about everyone being identical, not at all. It's about finding that common thread in our spices, in the form of our clothes, in the timing of our festivals, and in the epic stories we all know. The diversity is what makes the unity so rich and beautiful. It's not a challenge to it, it's the best part of it. And I want to leave you with this thought from India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru. He noticed that underneath all the incredible variety on the surface, there was this deep cultural foundation, all these stories and morals that were engraved on the popular mind. And that right there, that deep, ancient, shared foundation, that's probably the real secret to how India can be, at the same time, so many different things and yet one. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey.